Welcome to Messy Christian Mamas. We are 3 Christian moms with a progressive mindset and loving hearts and minds. We are imperfect humans, but we're all loved in God's sight. At some point, we've all felt like the church and Christianity may not have been for us, but God isn't looking for perfection. He's just looking for you.
We are not experts in Christian theology, and we do not represent any particular Christian faith or church. We are simply here to be authentic, and we hope you join us on this journey.
Welcome back to Messy Christian Mamas. This is Kendra.
This is Kaylee. And this is Ashley.
And we're still talking about those fruits of the Spirit, y'all. So we've got 4 more to go, and we need to assign some fruits here. What do we think?
Yeah, we were talking about it, and I don't think we're in complete agreement with all of our fruits.
Agreed.
So Kendra is a preschool teacher, and she has a bulletin board with all the fruits of the Spirit on, with fruit on there.
Which does not help me remember any of them.
No.
I recall like 3.
No. But love, Ashley said passion fruit, and I agree. And Kendra said cherries, which, although you could go strawberries in there as well.
I really don't like the taste of passion fruit. And I don't like maraschino cherries.
Either.
I like fake cherries.
Right.
I like fake love, fake cherries.
Drink love.
I love like cherry and almond together. It's like my favorite combination.
Okay.
So love, we'll say like for some it could be passion fruit, for some it could be cherries. You know, depending on what type of love. Maybe strawberries
Or peach.
or a peach. You know what I learned. And then
Joy on this episode.
Joy would have to be something bright, like an orange, something citrusy,
Maybe a lemon.
a lemon.
Oh, I had a strawberry.
It's kind of bitter though.
I had
bitter.
a strawberry for Joy.
Yeah, strawberry.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
A summer strawberry.
I like that.
Strawberry
strawberry
shortcake.
picking. We have a really awesome farm that's near, not near us, but it's like half an hour away. Southern Belle Farms. It has the best strawberry shortcake in the entire world. The
I
strawberry
still
picking
haven't
there.
been. We've got to go this summer.
We'll go this spring because
Spring,
it's seriously they make their own strawberry ice cream, strawberry shortcake.
So
It's
I've heard
like-
so many good.
it's
the
the
Bible
best.
study went on a field trip
Oh,
there,
that's
right?
right.
And I didn't get
I
to
went on that
go.
field trip.
We'll go again. It's so good. Now I'm just hungry. Peace. Okay, we talked about peaceful fruits. We said like
Maybe honeydew.
cantaloupe or
Maybe
honeydew. Because
cantaloupe.
those are usually like already cut up. I don't like melon. I like watermelon, but I don't like cantaloupe and honeydew.
Only if it's like really ripe, and it's hardly ever really ripe.
No.
It's usually like what's
Tends
left
to get
over in the
mush.
fruit tray.
Yeah.
It is always left over in the fruit tray.
It is.
Which is a good symbolism for peace.
My mom used to buy
It's
cantaloupe
hard
and
to get.
honeydew.
Yeah.
Why would you ever buy a cantaloupe or honeydew? Of all the world of fruit, the cornucopia of fruit that exists in the world, why are you choosing cantaloupe or honeydew? There are better choices.
I would
Well, I
think
think
like
pineapple
banana.
for joy actually come back to
Oh,
Ooh,
pineapple is so
pineapple is
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I just like banana for peace.
Yeah,
It's like
I-
a mild fruit.
I have banana on my board. I really hate banana, though. I'll be
love
honest.
bananas.
I do not.
I love bananas
roasted
too.
bananas. Ooh.
That-
yeah, I like
Give me
plantains.
bananas Fosters. Ooh,
terrible, you guys.
plantains.
No.
Yum. I like bananas Fosters though because of the rum, not so much because of the
Right.
bananas. But that makes me peaceful. So I mean,
Peaceful. What's next?
patience.
Yeah.
That would be like an orange. Something you have to peel.
Yeah.
A kiwi.
I think a seeded watermelon.
Seeded
is what I
watermelon.
guess, you know.
Yes.
Oh, pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
That is patience.
Yeah. That's patience.
Yeah.
I have no patience for a pomegranate. I love pomegranate. I love pomegranate juice. I'll pay the $8 for the juice. I don't want to have to do that.
No.
The next one is kindness.
Kindness.
So I feel like sharing fruits, like
Yeah,
strawberry,
maybe
blueberries,
maybe grapes.
grapes. Oh yeah,
Oh, I
we can
love
always share
blueberries.
grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an apple on my board for kindness. It's like the teacher thing.
Yeah,
you know?
T-shirt, apple. Gooseness. Goodness.
Goodness.
Yeah, goodness.
What's
I
like
had
a really
an
healthy
orange.
one for you? Yeah, like
I have
something
orange
like a
because it's
really
like you
vitamin
open it and
C.
it's so once you finally
Oh,
get
yeah,
to it
yeah.
after all the work, you're like, ooh, this is so good.
and like
Yeah.
like what's a fruit that's like really
Clementine.
high in like antioxidants? Blueberries, like those are really good for you.
Acai.
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 How did I say it? How did I say it?
Acai.
Blackberries.
Blackberries.
I love blackberries.
Oh, yeah.
Blackberries.
Especially when you get a really
nephew,
sweet blackberry.
Yeah.
I took him blackberry picking, and that was the worst mistake of my life. I ended up having to pay such a premium because he ate so many.
My kids always put raspberries like on all their fingers and then eat them.
Oh yeah, that's the best part of a raspberry.
Yeah.
I love raspberries.
Faithfulness.
Oh, faithfulness.
Ooh.
Great is thy faithfulness.
So I had a lemon for that, and I don't remember why.
Oh.
I don't remember why.
Maybe you have to be faithful to like eat a lemon because they're
Oh, you
really
gotta
hard to
really
eat.
stick with it.
No.
Or it really sticks. It's real faithful to you. I'm sure
Okay,
you
what's a?
Lemons are good with like other things.
They're
Yeah.
good with other things.
Although, like Brad growing up would eat a whole lemon,
That's
like not the seeds, but like
disturbing.
the skin and
Wow.
yeah. And his son does the same thing.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
odd.
Freaking weird, right? That's weird. Yeah, let's call it what it is.
Maybe a star fruit.
Yeah.
Star fruit for faithfulness.
Yeah.
Like the northern, like the star in Bethlehem.
Right.
Faith. I'll get us there. Don't
There
worry.
we go.
I had a botany class when I was in high school, and everybody had to bring fruit in one day for a big fruit party. Somebody brought papaya in. I'd never had it. I ate more papaya than you could imagine that day, and I got so sick that
Oh,
night.
I'll believe it.
So sick
It's
that
a
night.
diuretic. Like it'll go through you.
And well, no, the other side.
Oh.
Yeah. And so sick. And then when I was just at the soup kitchen a couple weeks ago, we were cutting up fruit for things, and they were like, okay, when you open a new package, you have to taste a little bit of it to make sure that it hasn't gone bad. I was like, wait, what? And then
Like the
I got the
King's Tasters.
papaya on top of that.
Uh-uh.
That was rough. So.
In high school, we had to bring your own fruit party, pool party, and we put all the fruit in the pool. And then I remember someone brought a coconut, and we couldn't get it open. We got like a hammer.
Ooh,
We're trying to
that's a
open
good
the
one for
coconut.
faithfulness. You gotta
Oh,
be faithful
Yeah, you
to
do.
open a coconut. You gotta really.
We also
want that
had a bring
coconut.
your own meat party one time. I had some really interesting high school friends.
I bet the parents loved you with the fruit pool.
Probably
Right?
This is delicious. Fruit pool. And then we have gentleness. Oh, what's a gentle fruit?
Pear. You have to
Pear.
be so
Oh,
gentle
yes.
with a pear, right?
They are gentle. They bruise very easily. Or
Agreement.
peach.
Or a raspberry.
Peaches
Too.
bruise
Raspberries
really
can be
easily.
so delicate.
And then the last one's self-control, which is grapes.
Self-control.
Yeah.
Because I have no self-control with grapes, so I would have to learn self-control in order to eat
One
grapes.
at a time, you know, you can portion
Yeah.
them out.
Oh,
You're
man.
like, I could
My dad and I will
five.
eat an entire package of grapes if it's left between the two of us. Like,
That's
it's
funny.
so
JJ's that way. JJ will eat like the whole thing.
Bad. Especially like green ones that they're
She
like
loves
really
grapes.
crisp. I like a crisp green grape.
Do you like the cotton candy
I
grapes?
don't. Charlie does,
I
but
don't like those. Do you like those?
I don't like them.
I
They're
don't
gross.
try them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really taste like cotton
They're
candy.
disgusting.
It's
Oh, weird.
Weird. Yeah.
That is weird.
They're gross.
Okay, so what are like some of the things that are fruits that are not really fruits, like tomatoes?
Avocados.
Yeah, I do love a
I
tomato.
like
though.
avocado would be a piece one for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love avocados.
Yeah,
So smooth.
so smooth.
Actually, we had this argument because I learned this in biology, and it's been my favorite thing to say to people to like start a debate. And there's no such thing as a vegetable. And I love this because there is no such thing as a vegetable. Anything that you think is a vegetable actually belongs to a different class of plant. And there's no
Explain.
like
What about carrots?
a carrot is a root.
Okay, but a root vegetable.
No, a vegetable is a name that they've given this class of food, but
Cucumber?
it's not
What's a cucumber?
scientifically. It's fruit, seeds inside. So yeah, and it's part of the melon family. So yeah, so
That's
it's
so
one of these.
confusing. And
it's
squash too.
Yeah,
So confusing.
it's one of these things where like people are like vegetable
Asparagus?
is not a scientific.
What's asparagus?
It's like a grass. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Vegetable is a common term that's given to this class of food, but it doesn't actually have like a scientific
Classification.
Like, classification.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Whereas fruit does.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was like one of the things I actually remember from high school. So
Good job.
yeah, you know, got that degree. And, it's on my wall. This is what I have to show for it.
Like, finally got to use it, yes.
Causing arguments.
So with that, should we start digging into our
Yes.
remaining fruits? So we've got goodness on deck.
What do we think about goodness? What is goodness?
I just think of that song, The Goodness of God, and it's one of my favorite songs.
A quality that aligns with ethical values and right behavior.
Like righteousness, right? It's like goodness. So like when
Ethical
you say
values make sense to
that's
me.
a good guy, like she's a good person.
Yeah. I think this is where like kids' faith comes in handy because they have such a black and white faith, and they have such a strong idea of like what's wrong and what's right. And I think when you look at things through a kid's eyes and like, is this good or is this bad? And I think goodness is one of these black and white type qualities. I think all the rest of them we can kind of go into degrees of, but whether something's good or whether something's bad, you can always you can argue it, but it's always going to kind of fall more on one side of the fence than the other.
Yeah,
I think so. I think you can always.
Somebody's not like purely one or the other usually, but
right.
yeah,
but I
usually
think you usually fall on one side of the fence, or not.
At least
like
in the eye of the beholder.
good. Yeah, if something's good, then it's not harmful to anyone around it. You know, it's for the better good of it progresses things. I think that's what goodness is. I don't think it's hard to argue things that are inherently good.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, then we come back to those people that just like to argue about everything, and
But they're not good.
They're not. They're not.
Okay, answering like my 4th and 5th graders. Well, they're just not good, Miss Gailey. I'm like, all right, it's fair.
So faithfulness is the next one. This is one of my favorite fruits of the Spirit, and I think it's hard to be truly faithful as a person in the way that God displays faithfulness.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, of course, we don't measure up to the qualities of God ever. We're not really even meant to. We're always meant to try, but we'll never get there. But I think like there's that one of my favorite Bible verse, Psalm 91:4. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. His faithfulness protects you because he is always there.
Yeah.
He's always there protecting you and loving you. It won't end.
Yeah. And humans have conditions.
And humans have conditions.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like I have these ADD moments where like I just kind of forget to be faithful until something really bad happens, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to be faithful. Now like I'm following God's path, but like why can't I be that way all the time?
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's what these seasons do too, like Advent, Lent, like they remind us to
Especially
be faithful.
Lent, right?
And like I said, I
feel like Lent is all about it.
Failing at Lent right now, but but it does remind me, because then I remember that I'm failing at Lent, so it does remind me to be more faithful. So it's good.
Yeah. Oh, Lent update over here. Anybody want to know how my Lenten journey is going?
Sure,
everybody
how's
does,
it going?
right? Thank you, podcast audience.
I just remember you're like, you're dough white for yeah, okay.
And it is, it's going. I'm still doing it. It's not easy, as it turns out. Like, I guess I didn't think it would be. But that Ash Wednesday fast was difficult after having not fasted in a while. So that one was tough. And then I got some soup at the soup supper and was like, oh man, I really wanted like a roast. But that wasn't on the menu. And there was a Brad made, what was it? It was like a roasted cauliflower soup.
It was so good.
People said it was so good. Somebody was like, are you going to try it? And I was like, no, I need some meat. I've been fasting all day.
That was the only one that I ate.
And all the people from our Bible study were making fun of me saying, I heard you were looking for some meat. And I was like, come on now. That sounds pervy.
They love us anyway.
They do. And let's see. So then we also did No Meat Friday, which has been a journey, and it was very difficult
Your
to get
husband
my
was-
family on board with this. But we had cauliflower again. It was on the menu. So we did roasted cauliflower nachos.
Ooh,
Which were really good.
That sounds good.
Really, really good. Cauliflower absorbs flavor so well.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. And yeah, so we did that, and he and Liv complained about it
Oh,
a lot of the time.
They're in it
More
together.
so Liv than him, though, because he was like, "This is something that's important to your mom, so we're doing it." But
And
not
Liv was
even in
like-
a grumpy way. Liv was really grumpy about it, but he was like, "No, we're doing this together." So he was actually being pretty sweet about it. So
give it up. On
that's how Meatless Fridays have gone. Still on that journey. And then I gave up TikTok too, which I'm still off of. And it's been very difficult. The perfume I wear, which I love, I am almost out of and was out of stock. Now they're back in stock. And it's so much more expensive if I go to the website than if I go to their TikTok store. But I can't go on TikTok.
Why don't you just get one of us to do it? We didn't give up TikTok. We still do that.
I thought about
Although,
how to do it.
is that enabling you?
Oh.
No. Because I'm
No.
showing you that. No, it's not enabling
Why did I want to
you.
flip you off when you did
I've never seen your attitude change so fast towards me.
No.
I was like, no, just kidding. It's not. I promise. I'll do it right now. Where's my phone? I'll buy it for you. It's fine. Are you fasting today? Like,
No,
that was
just feisty.
that was like a blood sugar drop change. I'll get it for you, Kendra. You just tell me where to go, and I'll get it. No worries.
So, anyway, that's my update. What about you guys? Lent stuff?
You added.
I only
praying.
added prayer, and I've been doing good with that.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Great. So you're giving yourself an A.
Yep.
What do you give yourself?
Oh, wait, and then the 40-40 group that we started here. We have...
And you're also doing
one-
your exercise class too on Thursdays too, right?
Exercise,
So
yes,
you're doing a lot.
I am doing some stuff right now. That 40-40 class, though, I offered my... If anybody's listening, offering my worship workout classes for free during Lent. So.
This will be towards the end of Lent, so they can come for like the last week, last 2 weeks.
Yes, right? There we go. So that class has been going well. We have 21 people in it. We met together. 15 people walked together
That's
yesterday,
awesome.
which is pretty
Yay.
exciting.
So bummed that
I know you
my
have
schedule
stuff.
doesn't allow me to do it.
I
but-
know.
So you're giving yourself a what?
I'm giving myself an A. Like, I'm sticking
job.
to everything.
I'm giving myself an F. I have failed Lent. God, Jesus said that being like, girl, you would not have survived in the desert. You would have taken the first temptation. It's just so hard because I gave up. So I know I
I
talked
wouldn't
about
have
giving
either.
up.
They don't have TikTok in the desert. So, like,
I gave up.
it's real.
I talked about giving up like fast food and soda, which was not feasible given our schedule this month. So I decided I was going to try to give up cussing. That has also not worked.
That's not realistic.
And Charlie has also learned not to point out to me that when I do cuss that I gave it up for Lent because
She's
that
a smart
also
girl.
doesn't work.
Smart girl.
Because I was like, the first time she did it, I just shot her a look and she was like, you know what? It's fine. It's between you and God, Mom. It's fine.
You're so pretty, Mom.
Yeah, I love you so much. Although to be fair, she gave back, talking back for Lent, and that hasn't worked either. So I haven't walked, I haven't read, I haven't listened. I haven't, I've cussed, this past week has been just, so we're recording this it's been 6 days, and I haven't done anything.
So, Tammy's surviving.
I'm surviving. I was like, I turned around and I was like, you know what, the first week is fine. The first week, you gotta give yourself, and then I was like trying to justify it because I do this when I'm on a diet as well, and I was like, well, Sundays are supposed to be cheat days, so I basically have just told myself the 5 Sundays that you're supposed to, you're allowed to cheat on, I'll just say that this week, and then I'll just not do it on this Sunday. Every justification I could give
Yeah,
myself.
that's like
sure.
Olympic rationalization.
Oh,
Yeah.
honey, I can get us there. No worries. You give me the destination, and I'll figure out the route to get there. No, I will rationalize something to death. So hoping that I can pull it together.
Yeah, but, giving up cussing was crazy.
But it was becoming
It's
a
like me giving
really
up chocolate.
big. It was becoming a really big issue.
Maybe just limit it to 10 words a day.
I really feel like I was
Like
starting
one
to
word
use
that you
it.
can't say.
I was
Yeah,
starting
that
to use it when I was getting frustrated and irritated. I was starting to use it, and which means I was starting to use it a lot around Charlotte. And I have this thing with her that it's the bad words are bad words with the intention behind them. I said, so cussing is such a part of my vernacular because I was a bartender and I worked with military, so it just was an everyday speech with me. So if I say a word, but there's no malice behind it, then to me it's not necessarily a bad word. But if you say something with bad intention and malice, like any word can be, like bless your heart, like this is a perfect example. Like when you say, when a Southern woman tilts her head and looks at you and says bless your heart, she's not blessing your heart, she's saying something completely different. So to me, that's almost as detrimental as telling someone to go F off. So that's, again, rationalization behind my cussing. But I was starting to have a lot of malice and a lot of bad intention behind the cussing. So I was like, I really need to start pushing away with it and start seeking alternative methods of communicating.
I'm pretty sure I've also read though that cussing lengthens your life expectancy.
Oh well, then I
think it really does.
Never die.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm sure there's other things I do though that counteracts the cussing, like the not walking.
So you could also try this method that the show Battlestar Galactica used. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
Okay, so they were on cable television where they could not cuss. They couldn't say, I'm not going to say it, Ashley. I'll save you the beep. But the F word. And so they couldn't say that. So they created their own word. And so if you ever watch the show, they'll always kind of be looking like badasses and be like, frack this and frack that. I think it's an opportunity for an invitation for creativity.
Right.
But the argument I have against that is that, so Charlie will say shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like if something happens, she'll go, shiitake mushrooms. And I'm like, it's still intention. I still
Right.
know what you were trying to say, and you were just trying to get away with not getting in trouble for saying the actual word, but your intention for that word is still behind it. So that is what I'm trying to move away from. There's plenty of alternative words that I can use, but I'm trying to get away from just verbalizing my frustration. When I'm angry, I've noticed it a lot lately that when I'm frustrated or I lose my temper or I'm angry, that I just verbal diarrhea, and that's when the cussing gets really, really bad. And so I'm just trying to figure out what are alternative ways that I can express frustration and irritation without going off the deep end verbally on someone, especially my kid. How do I how can I just do that? And silence doesn't work either, because I don't live in a family where silence works, because then they'll be like, what's wrong?
I still think you need a ridiculous word like strawberry.
Yeah, I'll think of
Something that makes you just laugh.
Right.
When you say it, be like, you are such a strawberry. Be like, that sounds ridiculous.
I would say Will Ferrell sayings. Great grandma's spatula.
I do. I need to look up some really ridiculous sayings. Because someone did say,
I say this at school and I'm laughing myself and the kids are like, what?
Because someone said something about negative. Some podcast I listened to where was talking about negative self-talk, and if you just change it to where it's something that's funny, then you will stop your spiral into the negative self-talk because you'll just start laughing instead. So I guess I could.
Which is in Harry Potter.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love how you're trying to connect with me. Right? You're like, this is not Battlestar Galactica, Kaylee. This is something that you like.
Right. What's the thing that Lupin, what's the thing?
Ridiculous. Yeah.
No, the thing that he has in the little closet that he opens up and they all have
Patronus.
to...
No, it's a Bogart.
It's not. Bogart. That's what it is.
Sorry.
A boggart.
A boggart.
A boggart.
Yeah, Bogart is the guy who's in Casablanca.
I always pronounce it
Boggart. No, it's TG, so it's short O.
I was pronouncing everything wrong today.
That's okay.
Bogart.
It's only because I taught you.
But
So.
you guys have been reading the books and not watching all the movies too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We're slowing down though.
Are you?
Yeah, we're kind of stuck at book 4.
I'm going to reread them, I think, this summer.
Book 5 really is a whole new series. So you guys get there. Okay, anyway.
Okay, we'll get there.
So,
Where
That's
were
the
we?
Lent update.
Boy, that was
That's a
tangent.
goodness.
We
Faithfulness.
we were on
No.
faithfulness.
Okay, so now we're going to gentleness.
Gentleness.
Let's do gentleness.
Oh, that's a good segue though. Being
Yes.
gentle with my spirit, trying to be more gentle. We talked about gentle parenting ourselves.
Yes.
How it's
so
hard to
important.
gentle
Such a
parent
journey.
when you don't have gentle children.
AI says a soft, calm, and compassionate nature, free from harshness or rudeness.
Yeah,
I feel
like,
like-
don't be a tough love parent for yourself.
Yeah,
Like a
I
gentle
feel like my
parent.
dad is like the most gentle person on earth. He is
Yeah.
like, he's a pacifist and he was a hippie and just he's just really quiet and soft spoken. Yeah.
I envy those people. I wish
Yeah.
I could be. I envy gentle people because they do seem like they're. I envy
Pastor
calmness.
Miriam.
Yes.
The gentlest
Yes.
person that I've ever known in my
I
life.
envy those people who can go into situations and with such compassion and such understanding and so calm, and even when they're rocked to their core, they still they don't explode. I'm an explosive person. I'm the opposite of a gentle person. I'm an explosive person, so I don't handle things well. There's that meme, that one that's been going around lately. It's a girl who was on a woman who was on a game show, and the girl another contestant says something. She's like, "Wait, that's not fair!" She starts screaming. She goes, "Wait, hold on. I'm an adult. I can handle this." And she immediately kind of stops herself. I'll find it and send it to you because I cried laughing when I saw it. I was like, "Oh no, that's me!" Immediately
Wait,
competitive,
adult.
immediately explodes and is like, "Wait, hold on. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down."
So you say that, but I've seen you be so gentle with others, and even when you are correcting their behavior, the funny way you do it is like a spoonful of sugar.
Yep.
I wish I could do that for myself and my kid.
I know, right? I know. But you do it
Maybe so
so.
nice.
You're such an expert at doing it with people.
you.
It's
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to watch you do that.
I'll definitely get your perfume for you now. Now that you've been so gentle with me.
Yeah, gentleness is. I wish that I were gentler. I have been so much gentler to myself over
I feel
this
like you
last year, and with others. I think, but
I bet you're gentle with the
much
pre-K kids.
I can be, but I'm pretty strict too.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with chaos, and so God's like, so 2-year-olds.
Here's your opportunity to learn to deal
I
with
Start
that.
digging.
I remember teaching kindergarten. I found out that the quieter your voices, the quieter they got. Just talking really, really quiet.
It's weird. See, that worked when I taught kindergarten. I taught in Houston, Texas at a bilingual school, and it worked really, really well for my Hispanic students. And when I went to my mentor teacher and was like, gosh, I really responded this quiet, gentle tone, and they were like, well, you have to remember what culture, our culture is very loud and very expressive and everything. So quietness, they're not used to that, so they're gonna immediately it's gonna catch them off guard, and they're immediately gonna lean into it. And I was like, this is fantastic. But then when you move to other cultures, it just doesn't work as
See,
the same.
I have tried that in my classroom. For some reason, it does not work with my
Yeah, your
kids.
2-year-olds are like, ah,
They
run over Miss Kendra.
yeah, they don't deal. They don't listen well when I do that. But I think my successes come from just moving them quickly from one thing into the next.
Redirection.
Yeah. So we only do things in 15-minute segments.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just
I can
constantly
only
kind of
do
moving
things.
to the next activity.
In 15-minute sections.
You say that, but it can be a lot to do that over the course of many hours.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, But
I
it's
have to, there's very few things that I can do for longer than 10, 15 minutes without having to shift something, some variable in the situation. At work, every 20, 30 minutes I have to get up and I have to leave my computer because otherwise I'm going to throw it across the room.
Yep.
And it's not technically mine, so I can't do that.
Well, I do think that the learning that we do together, I can actually get them to sit down at a table with me when we go over our letters and our numbers and our colors and our shapes and things. They do such a good job at that. And
They're so
I
cute.
feel like I'm able to be more gentle when there's a lot less chaos.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, that's not
Yeah.
too much of a stretch to imagine. Anyway, so gentleness. Wish I had more of it, but There's that line from a We the Kingdom song that is like, I'm not yet where I'm going, but I'm a long way from where I've been.
But I think you are also gentle, like in how you speak with scripture and like when you do the mill posts and things like that. There's a gentleness to that for sure.
Thank you.
When you pray.
There's definitely a peace that I feel with that stuff. I like spending a lot of time with that.
I think those two fruits are probably connected, like peace and gentleness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think like you can be gentle and be in turmoil. Like, I feel like maybe the two kind of have to be like married.
I wonder if you talk to somebody like Pastor Miriam, if she would feel the same way though.
Well, I feel like I feel like she's got a lot of peace and gentleness in her. Like, I'm trying to think of people that I know
I
that
know
are
there have
gentle.
been times when she's harried, but she has still been so gentle to everyone around her. You know, I just think her default setting is gentleness. So I don't know. It's not me. You know?
Not my default setting.
So I think for me, those two things are very closely connected. Anyway, self-control.
All right. AI says the ability to manage one's emotions and desires and to make wise choices rather than succumbing to impulses or temptations. Right?
Yeah.
I just laugh at that one.
Okay, so I think self-control can be a really good thing, but I think there's also a dark side to self-control, which I think I got into last year.
Yes, I
You know,
agree.
where I was over-controlling everything I was doing with the fasting, with the, like, everything I was doing, I was...
But
Yeah.
on the flip side of that is
Yeah.
because you had no control of what was going on outside of you.
Correct.
So that was you
Yep.
overcompensating for the fact that you had no control over what was going on career-wise, what was going on, you know, things that were happening to your family, things that were happening to the people around you.
Even myself and how I was changing, I felt like I didn't have a whole lot of
Yeah,
control.
so I think people tend to grasp for any control that they can muster when their world is literally spinning off its top. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a natural response. You cling to whatever you can.
I know what you mean, though. That like that's something I'm really kind of mean to myself about. That like I feel like I'm not the fun parent. That I'm just like not a fun person. That like, but I have a lot of self-control. But I want to be more fun. I want to have like less of those control issues.
Yeah.
But
So do you see like inhibition being the opposite of self-control?
I guess.
So, because I think there are people
that's
who
interesting.
I think there are people who have inhibitions that. Okay, so from a recovering addict's point of view, like there are lots. Like self-control is one of the first things you have to kind of grasp and learn how to do, because you have no. It can go either Kendra's kind of direction where you try to control too much of your life and it starts to get toxic, or you just give up complete control and then everything spins out. Like it's one of the two. Addiction is one of the two outliers, and then you have to kind of learn how to manage it in the middle, and self-control is one of those things, the first things you do. So when I look at people who have who people are saying, oh, they're so inhibited and everything. Well, look at what they're doing. So someone who goes like skydiving, for example, I'm like, oh, well, that's really like, that's inhibiting. Like, you know, that's something that, but there's still the self-control of how many times are they doing it? Have they saved up for this? Is this something that they have wanted to do for a long time? Or is this a whim? So I think when you look at people at like inhibitions, it's one of these things where it's like, well, is there self-control behind these inhibitions? And when it starts to tilt one way or the other is when it can get toxic and when it can get dangerous. So when you people who are just going out and partying every night, and you know, and it's risking, and they're not controlling things during the day, like they're not showing up for work, or they're not sleeping well, they're not taking care of their bodies. Okay, that's tilting onto the negative side. But if I knew, as a bartender, I was out 4 nights a week. It was my job. But during the day, I was sleeping and I was eating healthy and I was exercising, I was taking care of myself. So while people saw my lifestyle as very uninhibiting and very like, you know, promiscuous and everything, I'm like, you guys have no idea, like I'm still a college kid, like I'm still showing up for class. And so I think it's just trying to balance
that idea
the two.
that self-control is really an active balance.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting to look at self-control that way.
So I think it's like one of these things where you want to do more. Okay, well, then how do you allow yourself? What parts of you do you have to let some control go of, but tighten the reins on other control? Like for me, it's really dangerous. Like I have to be really careful. Like because if I start to slip in a direction, self-control is a slippery slope for me. So once I lose the reins on self-control, it takes a lot of time and effort to rein it back in, to get it back, which is why I don't allow myself to do certain things, because I know that those are triggers for my self-control. But those are learned behaviors that I've had 15 years, you know, to learn how to manage. So when I see people who are like, oh, I really want to try this, but oh, I'm just afraid, like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, well, baby steps.
Yeah.
Try it. Like I know, like I have a friend of mine who really wants to do a trip by herself. Like she wants to go like on a cruise for like a week, and I'm like, okay, well let's start with you just doing it overnight by yourself. Like some people can't stand being in their own company for more than 24 hours, myself included. So like start.
Oh no, I would be fine.
Yeah, I love solo travel. I was just talking about for spring break.
I need people. So just start small. So what is something that you would want to do that?
I don't know. I guess just like being more fun, like with my kids. And like I know I can be fun. It's like codependency part of me again, that I'm like, well, if someone doesn't, if I don't take care of it, nobody's gonna take care of it, you know. Yeah. So I try, and I'm always like work before play. So like finish this first, and then you can play. But then it's like, then work just where it takes over.
Well, and also collecting responsibility, what this one has talked about.
Right.
Collecting the responsibilities of everyone's pleasure and enjoyment around you. Like, you really want to go do this, but now you're concerned that your 4 kids are not going to fully enjoy it how you do. Well, we have no control over how they respond to something. They could love it, they could hate it. It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
You know, one out of the 4 could say, oh, this was the best day we ever had. The other 3 could be like, oh, this kind of sucked. Well, you know what? 25%. Like,
right.
you got 25% of it.
Like, I wish I was less shy. I wish it was, like, easier for me to relax. Like, I went out to watch a band with my brother earlier this week, and it was a really fun time, but I was, like, so freaking shy. It felt like painful to be there. And, like, it was fun, and it was really great music, and I was having a good time, but I was still just, like, I was tired, but I wanted to go out. And I think that tiredness, too, is just, like, it made me...
I always get, like, very inside myself when I'm really tired.
Yeah.
You know, I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes I'm in a mode where I can, like, do the networking thing or the chatting thing and be, like, act the extrovert part and feel okay in that space. But then there are other times when I get tired and I'm like...
Yeah,
it is so exhausting, the thought of trying to go up and talk to somebody that I don't know right now.
Yeah, like I just wanted to like sit in the corner and enjoy the music.
Yeah.
You know? But,
yeah, you don't really.
Sorry.
I feel like you're like, what are you talking about?
No, I do understand. I know
but
my face.
Wish that I wasn't.
I know my face was like portraying that. I do understand.
I wish
there
that I
are
was
times,
like not that shy.
But I do, like, as an extrovert, there are times that like I do wish, like sometimes I show up to things where I do wish that I could just kind of stand back and observe and not be a part of it. But because of people know me and expect certain things of me, that sometimes it's really like it's hard for me to say no to that and to be like, oh no, you know what, I think I'm just gonna observe this. I don't really want to take an active part in this. I don't really want to be involved in this. And then that's when everyone looks at me like, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling okay? And I'm like, guys, I just want a break. Like, I just, I didn't feel like peopling today. So
I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth for a second. So I think that the idea of fun can be overrated too. Like over peace. Right? At least for an introvert, for somebody who's been in the process of healing, like finding peace to me feels so much more valuable often than fun does. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think fun is important. Like, for instance, the conversation we had before we started recording the podcast today was I, again, have just tried to collect too many responsibilities and too many things. And now I find myself in a place where this year, after spending last year doing so much self-control and creating a very serious life for myself. Like, I felt so much more peace last year than I have in my entire life, but it was still a very serious life, if that makes sense. And wasn't finding those outlets for fun for myself because I was so committed to improving myself, to healing. And so now I'm looking at this year saying, well, that was a great journey, and now I'm ready to take the next step, and now I want to have some fun. So the other side of my mouth.
Right.
It's like, I want to have fun. I want to let go.
Right.
And it's
the balance.
The balance, right?
So I think you went from one extreme, you were a pendulum, you went from one extreme to the other. So now it's trying to figure out, okay, well, what's balance?
Right.
Where can I protect my peace? I'm hungry, guys.
Me too.
My peace. How can I protect my peace? It's not fruit talk. How can I protect my peace as well as have fun and be social and connect and all of these things at the same time? And I think that's, especially for introverts, that's a really hard place. My peace is with people, so I don't have to. For me, it's more balancing alone time, which I know I need, like I physically need alone time and peaceful time and gentleness, versus, go, be with people. With you guys, it's the opposite. It's, okay, well, how can I protect my peace while still having connection and having fun? You guys have well proven that you can have fun by yourselves. Well proven that fact. So now it's, okay, well, now how can I preserve this part of myself while still exploring these other
Or like,
avenues.
do I want fun more than I want peace?
Right.
You can balance.
Right.
I feel like the two can be balanced. I feel like I think it's just harder for you guys.
It's like situational sometimes too. You know what
Yeah. Like tonight, I really wanted to go to, there's a trivia going on at Line Creek, down there. But anyway, and I was like, not Bus Barn, the other one. What's it called? I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, Peachtree City. Anyway, and I last week I was like, who can I invite to trivia? I really want to go to trivia. But then I was like, no, I'm going to be too tired. There's too much going on. I can't do it. But that was an opportunity where I could have had fun. But I was like, no, I'm not going to because I'm going to be too tired. No.
Yeah.
I think you guys also have to maybe slightly, I know this is going to be a trigger word for you, but maybe slightly open yourself up to some spontaneity. I know it's a trigger word for you, Ashley. I'm so sorry. I did put a lot of warnings in front of this word. There was a lot of asterisks in front of this word. But I do feel like, because I think that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You tell yourself, oh, well, I really want to do this, but I know this is gonna happen. Well, let the day come. If you're too tired, go home and go to sleep. If you're feeling up for it, then go. There's no person, like, you don't have a personal assistant besides you saying, like, oh, you have to be here, you have to be here, you have to be. You're in control of what you do, especially on weeks like this where you don't have the kids. So you do have a little bit more control over what you can do on a daily basis. If you want to go have a coffee and go walk around the lake, then you're allowed to do those things.
Right.
So I think it's just, I think a lot of times we set ourselves up though, being like I know, I'm so busy. I'm going to be so busy this week, so I'm not even going to go to the gym because I just know I'm so busy.
Right.
Busyness.
It's definitely an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at our month of May. And it was one of these things, and I immediately kicked myself because I was looking at it, I was like, we don't really have anything planned. And I was like, well, what can I do? And I was like, stop! Like, you just were complaining, like, nonstop about how busy your March is and how crazy your schedule is. Like, enjoy the fact that you've got some downtime coming, but I'm not going to know what to do. I'm sure Charlotte Grace will sign up for something.
And go to trivia.
Wow, we just had a whole conversation that wasn't on the podcast. You'll never know what it was about.
This is that exercise self-control.
Right.
Maybe like these three are talking about self-control. Really? Like,
Mine was intentionally off air. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. I don't think mine was.
I don't think
It's okay.
I think it really doesn't matter.
It's just like balance. It's all about balance. Like finding Ashley and I being the introverts, Kaylee being the extrovert. You know, I struggle a lot with, is fun more valuable to me than peace is in a moment? And and it's just finding balance and making sure that you have all of those things in the cornucopia of your life, right?
In the fruit basket.
In the fruit basket of your life.
For spiritual kids.
Right.
Fruits.
These are the fruits of your lives.
Oh my gosh, that'll be the next thing. We need to come up with soap opera characters. With these fruits.
Yes.
Make a banana look like she's Joan Crawford. Oh, that'd be fantastic.
I love this
For your
edible
personality
arrangements
types.
too. I love this better than flowers.
Oh yeah.
Those like
edible
chocolate dipped like
arrangement.
fruit things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Just like food. I mean,
You guys like personality types for fruit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I wonder what I would be.
pineapple.
Ashley would be the same thing. So.
Oh, yeah. According to your
Peach.
personality,
I'm a Georgia
type.
peach.
I feel like I'm a pineapple. Spiky, sweet and sour. I feel like I'm a. Although, never mind. I won't go down that route.
Yeah, I need to think about this a little bit more before I have an answer. I don't even know. All right. Well, on that note, let's wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for listening. We'll say a quick prayer together. Whose turn is it this time?
Kaylee's.
Kaylee!
Wow, that was beep. Goes the bus, Ashley.
She said, "The Lord be with you," and Ashley, we said,
And also with you.
Man. Okay. Dear God, thank you for bringing us together and having this conversation. I know we get on these really crazy tangents, and it's my fault, God. I take full responsibility. But thank you that we have the relationship that we do, that we can talk about your fruits and the gifts that you give us and how we struggle with them and how you are always ready to help us maintain our balance. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Messy Christian Mamas. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Until next time, embrace the mess, share the love, and shine your light bright, my friends.